Welcome back to Lost Odyssey. So, let's explore the tavern a bit more.
Ooh, that's a Vaseline look.
Yeah, the blue.
I used to work at... This was actually very common in Xbox 360 RPGs. And even PS3 RPGs as well.
Yeah,
it was a very common
thing.
thing.
Done around this time. Thankfully, a lot of the PC ports have actually the option to turn that off.
It's just a shame that the Vesperia one doesn't, but no.
Yeah.
You know,
Anyway,
but that being said, Teo, that's what mods are for.
This reminds me of a puzzle.
Yes.
This reminds me of a tragedy. A dream has been revealed.
Why, Luke, this latest tragedy reminds me of a puzzle that reminds me of a dream that reminds me of an encounter that
reminds me of my dead
man.
girlfriend.
So today we have
me.
in the mind of a captive. He knows that is useless, but he can't suppress the impulse that wells up from within his own flesh.
Oh my god, Naked Snake, are you okay?
I'm still in a dream, Snake Eater.
That's what he sings when he's in a cell at night.
He needs to do it, to hold his entire body against the bars. He does no good at all. It's simple flesh, simply iron bars. Number 8, what the hell are you doing? The guard's angry shout echoes down the corridor. The prisoners are never called by name, only by the numbers on their cells.
Of course.
Kaim is number 8.
What did you do to get into the slammer?
Kaim says nothing. Instead, he slams his shoulder against the bars. The massive bars of iron never budge. All they do is leave a dull, heavy ache in Kaim's superbly conditioned muscles and bones. Now, instead of shouting again, the guard blows his whistle and the guards come from running their station. Number 8, what's going on to make you understand? Do you want to be thrown into the punishment cell? Don't look at me like that. Start resisting and it will get you a longer time in here. So yeah, this is a time in his life where Kaim was arrested for some reason.
He's under arrest. Let me guess. He's been framed into killing his latest wife.
Sitting on the floor of his cell, legs spread out, Kaim ignores the guard's shouts. He has been to the punishment room any number of times. He knows he has been branded a highly rebellious prisoner, but he can't help himself. Something is squirming deep inside him. Some hot thing trapped inside there is seething and writhing.
Christ, I knew the prison food was bad, but really?
Some warrior you turned out to be, says one guard.
Can I lose this next guy?
You can't, sure.
You can't do shit in here. What's the matter, soldier boy? Can't do anything about an enemy staring you in the face.
The guard next to him taunts Kaim with laughter. Guard does.
Too bad for you, buddy. No enemies in here. Nobody from your side either. We got you locked up.
Let's point at the prisoner and laugh. After the guards, Kaim curls up on the floor, hugging his knees, eyes clamped tight.
All by myself. The guard was right. I thought I was used to living alone in battle on the road. But the loneliness here in prison is deeper than any I've ever experienced before, and more frightening.
Remember, unlike most prisoners, he will outlive his stay.
Yeah, so, he's even compelled by these paragraphs.
Walls on three sides and beyond the bars, nothing but another closing in the narrow corridor. This dungeon was built as to prevent prisoners from seeing each other, or even to sense each other's presence. The total lack of change in the view paralyzes the sense of time as well. Kaim has no idea how many days have passed since he has thrown in here. Time flows on, that much is certain, but with nowhere to go, it simply stagnates inside him. So yeah, not only is he arrested, he's not even allowed to know how long it's been. He's basically just put in a dark room with no light.
How did he not go insane?
The true torture that prison inflicts on a man is neither to rob him of his freedom nor to force him to experience loneliness. The real punishment is having to live where nothing ever moves in your field of view and time never flows. The water in the river never purified, but lock it in a jar and that is exactly what it will eventually do. The same is true here. Maybe parts of him deep down in his body and mind are already beginning to give off a rotten stench. Hey, it's like that episode of Recess where Miss Finster put TJ in the box.
Yeah, and TJ went insane and then you had to... Well, okay. The gang were kind of arseholes and made him face his fear by framing him.
Face your fears. Anyway, because he is aware of this, Kaim drags himself up in the floor again and slams himself into the bars over and over. There is not the remotest chance that doing so will break a bar, nor does he think he can manage to escape this way. Still, he does it repeatedly. He can't help himself. He has to do it again and again. In the instant before his body smashes into the bars, for that split second, a puff of wind strikes his cheek. The unmoving air moves, if only for that brief interval. The touch of the air is the one thing that gives Kaim a fragmentary hint of the flow of time. Just to keep himself sane, basically. So there you go, Theo. That's how he kept himself sane, by smashing into the bars.
Yeah, I've seen the original 2003 Old Boy.
The guards come running, faces grim with anger. Go ahead, Theo.
I can see human shapes where before there was only a wall. That alone is enough to lead my spirits. All these guards realize that.
Alright, number 8. It's the punishment room for you. Let's see if the 3 days in there will cool your head. Kaim's lips relax into a smile when he hears the order. So yeah, the punishment room is actually a breath of fresh air for him because he gets to leave that cell for a bit.
There's a bit of variety. Don't these guys get it? Now my scenery will change. Time will start flowing again. I'm thankful for that.
Kaim laughs aloud. The guards tie his hands behind him, put chains on his ankles, and start for the punishing room. What the hell are you laughing at, number 8? Yeah, stop it.
Stop it.
Sorry.
We'll punish you even more.
But Kaim just keeps on laughing at the top of his lungs.
If I fill my lungs with all new hair, will the stench disappear? Or am my body and mind rotted so much already that I can't get rid of the stench so easily?
Yeah, I doubt that they'll even allow him to bathe. So yeah, he must be fucking stinky as fuck.
How long will they keep me locked up in here? When can I get out of here? Will it be too late by then? When everything is rotted away, will I become less than a him and an it? The way our troops count enemy corpses?
So what you're saying, Kaim, is, no! I gotta get out of here! Kaim can hardly breathe. It is as if the air is being squeezed out of his chest, and the excruciating pain of it is drawing him back from the world of dream to reality.
Was I once in a prison in the far, far distant past?
He half wanders in the space between dream and reality. He has had this dream any number of times, this nightmare it might even be called. After waking, he tries to recall it, but nothing stays in his memory. One thing is certain, however. The appearance of the jail and of the guards in the dream is always the same. So yeah, he's not even certain if this is the first time he's been imprisoned.
So much time has passed anyway, so...
Yeah. So at some point his memories start melding with each other and just like becomes uncertain. Go ahead.
Could this be something I've actually experienced? If so, when could it have been?
There is no way for him to tell. Once he is fully awake, these questions will be asked between dream and reality are themselves erased from his memory. He springs up with a scream, his breath labored, the back of his hand wiping the streams of sweat from his brow, and all that is left is the shuddering terror. It is always like this. Gotta love the bloody imagery in the background.
Yeah.
It's our way to keep it T, while also implying that he's being incredibly mutilated.
Now, too, he mutters to himself as he attempts to retrieve whatever memory is left in a remote corner of his brain.
What kind of past life could I have lived through?
Now, too.
What kind of past life could I have lived through?
The end.
Damn.
So that's an example of how, of one of his insane times.
It's not necessarily. See, it's still tragic, but it's not one of those parts that makes you tear up.
Again,
Reflect on the condition.
Again, the primary idea behind these dreams is to really put us in Kaim's shoes and really understand what does it feel like to live 1,000 years and experience so many things and so many kinds of suffering.
I wonder, do any of these memories...
Stupid dumb magic engines! Then they can just up and take my damn job away from
They're
me!
taking your
Topic! So the magic engines are
I gotta get you home already.
So the magic engine...
How many times have I told you, Carlo, talk with your British accent?
So the magic engines are the AI of this universe, basically. A dream has been revealed.
I'm curious, do any of these memories get, like, you know, happy endings?
Some of them.
Like, no strings attached?
It's life, Drova.
A mother
Basically.
comes home. The boy has lost his smile, though he denies it. Don't be silly, Kaim. Look, I'm smiling, aren't I? He draws his cheeks back and lets his teeth show white against his brown skin. If this isn't a smile... Sorry. If this isn't a smile, what is? Kaim nods but says nothing. He pats the boy on the shoulder as if to say,
Sure.
Come on, really, look at me.
Weird origin for
I'm
our
smiling,
performance.
right?
Right, you're smiling.
Anyway, forget about me. Hurry, let's go. The boy has a sweet, open nature. He made instant friends with Kaim while the other townspeople kept their distance from the strange traveler. Not that the boy chose the much older Kaim as a playmate. So Kaim even faced bias and prejudice and sometimes...
The typical British countryside welcoming party.
He leads Kaim to the tavern, which still hasn't opened its doors for the day. I hate to ask you to do this, but would you please? The boy's voice seems to have carried inside. A man in the tavern peels off a drunken howl. He sounds especially bad today. Kaim fights back a sigh and enters the tavern. The man on the bar stool is the boy's father, drunk again at midday. The boy is here to take him home. He looks at his father's head, so that's why that bit with that we just saw reminded Kaim of this.
Mm-hmm.
The boy is... So yeah, this father is even getting drunk at midday. Don't you have work, dude? Kaim puts his arm around the father's shoulder and discreetly moves the whiskey bottle away from him.
Let's call it a day,
He says. The man shoves Kaim's arm off and slumps down on the bar. I hate guys like you, he says.
Yes, I know.
Says Kaim.
It's time to go home, though. You've had enough.
Don't tell me when I've had enough. You heard me, Kaim, Drifter. I hate you guys. I really, really hate you guys. You fucking suck. The father is always like this when he is drunk, hurling curses at all drifters, picking fights with any man dressed in the road, and finally slumping to the ground to sleep right off. His son is too small to drag him home. With a sigh, Kaim finds himself again today supporting the drunken father's weight to keep him from toppling off the bar stool.
Wasn't there Looney Tunes, short of had something similar to this scenario going on?
But
Would not surprise me.
the boy stares at his father. His eyes jumble of sadness, anger, and pity. When his eyes meet Kaim's, he shrugs as if to say, sorry to keep putting you through this. But Kaim is used to this. He has seen the father dead drunk almost every day for the past year, ever since the boy and his father were left to live alone. Oh well, the boy says with a strained smile as if trying to resign himself to the situation. Poor Papa. Poor me.
Jesus Christ.
Supporting the father's weight on his shoulder, Kaim gives the boy a smile and says,
Yes, but you don't go out and get drunk the way he does.
Ahem, the boy says, puffing his chest out. Sometimes kids are tougher than grown-ups. Kaim broadens a smile to signal to him, You're right.
All right.
Of course I'm right. The boy all but says with the smile he gives back. It is the only kind of smile the 10-year-old has managed to produce in the past year. So bitter it would numb your tongue if you could taste it. But is it a real smile or is it just something he's putting on, though?
Yeah.
The boy's mother, the father's wife, left home a year ago. She fell in love with a traveling salesman and abandoned the boy and his father.
Oh, goody.
Mama was bored, the boy says, matter-of-factly, looking back on his mother's infidelity. She got tired of doing the same thing every day. That's when she met him. At the tender age of 10, the boy has learned that there are certain stories that have to be told with that matter-of-fact tone.
Why does that piano suggest that the mother might be in a shallow grave somewhere?
The father was born and raised in this small town and worked in the town office. He was not especially talented, but it was not a job he called for talent or a quick wit. All he had to do was follow orders with diligence and submissiveness, and he did exactly that year after year without making waves. He called our life peaceful, but Mama didn't think so. She said it was just ordinary and no fun. She was attracted to the life of the crafty traveling salesman. It was risky and exciting, like walking on top of a prison wall. One misstep and you could end up inside. So basically she wanted the thrill of adventure, or something along those lines. Papa told Mama that the man was deceiving her, that all he wanted was her money, but he couldn't get through to her. Mama couldn't even think about us back then. With her detachment, as though holding it at arm's length, The boy reflects on the tragedy that struck his family. I've heard the saying, love is blind. It really is, he says with a shrug and a sardonic laugh like a full-fledged adult. Kaim says nothing.
Children should act their age.
Is another saying, but probably not one that could be spoken with a great deal of meaning to a boy that has lost his mother's love. And even if Kaim presumed to admonish him, the boy would likely pass it off with a strained smile and say, sometimes kids are tougher than grown-ups. Or at least they pretend to be.
Especially if you're Dakota fanning.
The boy's father, however, shows his displeasure when his son uses grown-up expressions. The little twerp's lost all his boyishness. He despises me now. He thinks I'm pitiful. Deep down he's laughing at me for letting my wife be taken by another man. Damn him! It bothers him, especially when he is drunk. His annoyance far outweighs his fatherly love for his son. Sometimes he even slaps the boy across the face, or tries to. When he is drunk, the boy can easily dodge his slaps, and he ends up sprawled on the floor.
Yay.
Even as he is drowning in a sea of liquor, he can sometimes turn unexpectedly serious and start asking questions. Say, Kaim, you've been traveling for a long time, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you enjoy it all that much? Going to strange towns, meeting strangers that can't be all that? Is it so wonderful that you'd be willing to abandon the life you're living now for it? He asks the same thing over and over. Kaim's answer is always the same.
Sometimes it's enjoyable and sometimes it's not.
He doesn't know what else to say. You know, Kaim, I never set foot outside this town. Same with my father and my grandfather and my great-grandfather, and the one before him. We've always been born here and died here. My wife's family, too. They've had roots in this town for generations, so why did she do it? Why did she leave? So why did she need so badly that she had to leave me and her own son? Oh, sorry, this is the father, sorry. Leave me and her own son. Kaim merely smiles without answering. The answer to such a question cannot be conveyed in words. Though he might try to explain it, the reason certain people are drawn irresistibly to the road can never be understood by people who don't have that impulse. The father is simply one of those people who can never understand. Different strokes for different folks.
It really just depends.
Different strokes for different folks. Failing to elicit a reply from Kaim, the father sinks again into the sea of drunkenness. I'm scared, Kaim, he says. My son might do it too. He might go away and leave me here someday. When I hear him talking like a grown-up, I get so scared I can't stand it. The boy's mother eventually comes back. The traveling salesman cheated her out of every last bit of her savings, and the moment she was no longer even any use to him, he left her. Physically and mentally broken, she has only one place to return to, the home she abandoned. First, she writes a letter from the neighboring town, and when her husband reads it again and again through drink-clouded eyes, he laughs derisively. Serves her right, the miserable witch! He makes a show of tearing the letter to pieces in front of Kaim, without showing it to his son.
So you talk about, physical child abuse, but you cannot say the word bitch. Okay.
Kaim tells the boy everything.
Maybe he prefers that term.
What?
Go ahead. Whatever you decide. Go ahead.
No, I said the first sentence. Whatever you decide, I'll help you make it happen. Sorry.
Whatever I decide? The boy asks in return with his usual detached smile.
If you want to leave this town, I'll let you have enough money to help you get by for a while.
Kaim says.
I can do that.
The father has no intention of forgiving his wife. He will almost certainly turn her away if she shows up, and probably with a proud, vindictive smile on his face. Kaim knows, however, that if the mother loses her home and leaves this town once and for all, the father will go back to drinking every day, cursing his wife's infidelity, bemoaning his own fate, taking out his anger on strangers, and constantly revealing the worst side of himself to his son. Kaim's long life on the road has taught him this. Constant travel means meeting many different people, and the boy's father is undoubtedly one of the weakest men Kaim has ever met. I get the feeling too that the reason they use wench is because the typical ye olde term.
They use witch, which is just one letter away from it.
Oh yeah, witch. Well, again, it feels medieval-ish, so I can understand why.
could
I'm
join your
fine
mother
with it.
and go to another town. Or if you wanted to go somewhere by yourself, I could find you work.
Either would be better, Kaim believes, than for the boy to continue living alone like this with his
Yes.
father. The boy, however, seemingly intrigued, looks straight at Kaim, revealing his white teeth. You've been traveling a long time, haven't you, Kaim?
Uh-huh.
Always alone?
Sometimes alone, sometimes not.
The boy gives a little nod, and with the sad smile of a grown-up says, You really don't get it, do you?
What's that?
All this traveling, and you still don't understand the most important thing. His sad smile takes on its usual bitter edge. Kaim finally learns what the boy is talking about 3 days later. A tired-looking woman in tattered clothes drags herself from the highway into the marketplace. The townsfolk back away from her, staring, leaving her in the center of a broad empty circle. The boy's mother has come back. The boy breaks his way through the crowd and enters the circle. The mother sees her son, and her travel-withered cheeks break into a smile. The boy takes one step and another step towards his emaciated, smiling mother. He does it at first, but from the first step he is running, and he throws his arms around her. He is crying, he is smiling. For the first time that Kaim has seen, he wears the unclouded smile of a child. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me, his mother begs, in tears. She clasps his head to her bosom and says, smiling through her tears, You've gotten so big. Then she adds, I won't leave you again. I'll stay here forever. Well, unless there's of course somebody else who maybe entices me again, or considering, I don't know.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Oh shit. Yeah, literally Carlos' line from San Andreas. Oh
Do not
shit.
go out for milk again.
A stir goes through the crowd. It comes from the direction of the tavern. Now the father breaks through the wall of people and enters the circle. He is drunk.
Oh no.
Stumbling, he edges toward his wife and son. He glares at his wife. The boy stands between them, guarding his mother. Papa, stop it! He yells. Mama's back. That's enough, isn't it? Forgive her, Papa, please. His voice is choked with tears. The father says nothing in reply. Glaring at the two of them, he collapses to his knees, his arms open wide.
Oh.
I'm guessing they didn't want to go for the cliche of him scorning him and her.
Killing
He enfolds both his wife and son. The shattered family is one again. Papa, please, don't hold us so tight. It hurts. The boy is crying and smiling. The mother can only sob. The father weeps in his rage. Witnessing the scene from the back of the crowd, Kaim turns on his heels.
My work here is done.
But you didn't do anything.
Didn't I?
Are you really leaving? The boy asks again and again as he accompanies Kaim to the edge of town.
Uh-huh. I want to get across the ocean before winter sets in.
Papa's already missing you. He says he thought you two could finally become drinking buddies from now on.
You can drink with him when you grow up.
When I grow up, huh? The boy cocks his head, a little embarrassed when he mutters. I wonder if I'll still be living in this town then. No one knows that, of course. Maybe some years from now, the father will spend his days drunk again because his son has left his home, town, or family. And yet, Kaim recalls something he forgot to say to the boy's weak father.
We call it a journey because we may have a place to come home to. No matter how many detours or mistakes a person might make, as long as he has a place to come home to, a person can always start again.
I don't get it, says the boy. Kaim remembers something else.
Smile for me.
He says one last time, placing a hand on the boy's shoulder. Like this? He reveals his white teeth and his cheeks wrinkle up. It's a good smile. He has finally managed to retrieve the smile of a young boy. Now it's your turn, Kaim.
Sure.
The boy studies Kaim's smile as if assigning it a grade. Maybe a little sad, he says. That he is joking and makes his words at home all the more. The boy smiles again as if providing a model for Kaim. Okay then.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go. No, I see you.
Okay, this is a wave of the hand. I'm going shopping with Papa and Mama today. Kaim smiles back and walks away.
Kaim, just smile.
Basically, yeah. Then he hears the boy calling his name one last time. Even if we're saying goodbye, I'm not going to cry, Kaim. Sometimes kids are tougher than grown-ups. Kaim does not look back. His only reply a wave of the hand. The boy's expression would probably change if their eyes met. He decides to play it strong to the end.
God, he's so cool!
Kaim walks on. After a brief respite, his journey with no place to go home to starts again. A journey with no place to go home to. The poets call it wandering.
So basically,
look at
Kaim
that.
in this story is Neil Breen.
Yes!
He
It
literally
all
fixes a
makes sense.
family.
Well, there you go. Look, they can make happy endings.
I mean, he
after all.
kind of has it all when you bring it down. He just lacks the superpowers, I guess, aside from the immortality.
Alright, we have one more
Oh my
dream,
God, the
but
Lost Odyssey movie adaptation starring Neil Breen.
Jesus.
why, not in this case, like, okay, why, drunk guy in the bar, why did you commit suicide, why didn't you tell me?
Where I know that typically trying to intentionally make bad schlock is normally, not a good idea, but somehow Neil Breen has found the formula and weaponized it.
Alright, anyway, we have one more dream to watch before we move on with the main story. We actually, again, they actually have a lot of dreams right here at the beginning of the game, actually.
Possibly to ease you up into the concept.
I guess the idea is to show how impressionable Kaim is in regards to just the littlest thing can remind him of one of the so many memories he has in that noggin.
When you've lived for as long as he has, you have basically memories of practically every possible scenario.
I will say it was a nice bait and switch, though, that the whole son and drunk father thing actually led to what ultimately turned out to be a happy memory.
It still
of
has
his.
it still has the unfortunate effect of the whole, abuse angle being post-drunk, that, even Kaim himself doesn't know if it's gonna, continue after he's gone or not, but he basically reasons that is life at the end of the day, unfortunately or not.
Which I guess, like Tio mentioned, does describe a lot of these memories. Like, these memories have had happy moments, but up until this one have had bad endings. This is one that had a very bad circumstance that looked like it was going to end incredibly bloodily, but actually ended on, as far as we know, a high note.
Alright, everybody, tune in next time, where we're still in a dream.
Yeah.
Snake eater.
Lost Odyssey.